I really do think that we've got to learn how to play a mobile quarterback. And, Napier ain't going to change anything. And honestly, there's nothing that's just really all inspiring about their offense, honestly, to tell you the truth. But, you know, realistically, Florida scored against Kentucky with explosives. There was 3 big plays offensively. They didn't drive the football. They had a couple of big plays that were explosives that pretty much led them to their scores, 5, maybe 6 play drives. There was no extension of drives that were moving into the double digits. And then they got the short field off Kentucky's turnovers. But I just wanted to show, like right here, for example, as I dive into this, I really do think that we have a good defense. But unfortunately, our kryptonite seems to always be a mobile quarterback. And I don't know how these things happen, but just like in this case, they're going to run rip motion. He ends up becoming the safety outlet. You get 2 receiver progression right here. He becomes the outlet, and you end up off the zone. You're going to block with a 7-man front. Okay, so it's just a 2 receiver progression. Kentucky's only going to rush the 4, so they're dropping 7 to 2 guys, and Lagway has nowhere to throw the football. And how many times have we seen this from Georgia's perspective? We get one guy breaking through, piss poor pass pro. We got guys that are just sort of held up right here. We got people in position to basically not allow the quarterback to throw. But then we see this right here. And this is something that we can't let happen. How many times we see Dalen Everett out here or Nickel sitting out here? And watch Lagway break this dude's ankles right here. I mean, this is something that we cannot allow to happen because it is a drive killer. It is a drive killer, and it's certainly not something that, we're going to want to see on 3rd and medium, 3rd and long, and he's able to do something like this just because we can't get to him. I do notice this. They do keep a lot of people in for him in pass pro because what you're going to get right here again is a 2 receiver set cross on X. So you're going to get the tight end coming across on one side on the shallow. The backside H is coming across on the drag, and the guy that was in rip motion, it comes out here to be the safety valve. So he's only looking for one guy. Kentucky has rushed 3 people on the line of scrimmage at the plus or minus 4, at the plus 4 yard line for Florida. And, this is something that Lagway's got to be better at. You've got to decide quicker that if you're not going to throw the football, you either commit now that you're outside the tackle box to run and try to outrun him, or you throw the football away. This is something that we've got to make Lagway do too. Now, somehow, some way, I find I'm sort of cynical. I seem to think that as poorly as we played defensively, and we've had this good game against Texas now, and having the week off to kind of digest that we're going to come up and make this play right here. Kentucky does it. But somehow, some way, we've got to be able to break down and pursue coming to the football that allows him to make those kind of mistakes and not throw the football away and contain him and make tackles. I wanted to show this one play defensively. Kentucky could run the football on them. I know we can too. But I tell you what, when they run counter tray, I really don't understand when you got the front side that's blocking down. I always taught my guards, and I don't know if it's because they get so much match and combo stuff with the guards moving so much, is that the guard should influence. If he blocks down, the minute he blocks down, I'm firing that gap right now. Because a down means that something's replacing, they're running to your side, you fit that gap right now, okay? Now, if he sits over the top of you, then you've got to work over the top of it. If he comes straight out to you, then you got to punch and press him in the hole, okay? So, to me, with gap scheme, the minute that guard right here blocks down, okay, with the center, all right, the tackle's kind of going to block down too, but he's really going to be working to this side right here. You're actually just going to get sort of a wash that ends up going here because this guy and this guy should be the ones that you're kicking out. But because he's head up, I would almost bet you money, if this is run the way I'm thinking, is that he ends up taking him, and who ends up being kicked out is this guy right here. And then they fill up to this guy. But what I notice is that he's very hesitant of coming up on the down block. And then not only that, runs inside to let this guy pin him right there, and then you get the hole behind it. So it's just really, to me, from a linebacker's perspective, just not run very well, because as they come across, yep, that's exactly what happened. He ended up blocking the guy head up. The outside linebacker comes up, or nickel, whatever it is. But look at that linebacker. That linebacker should be fitting his outside shoulder, because his help's coming from inside. He's a leverage defender for C gap, possibly B gap, depending on what they had going on up front. But he goes inside. He gets skinny, goes inside. It is an easy block for that tackle coming around the wrap. Get a perfect kick out. Look where his hat's at. His hat should be on the inside right here, making this bubble. But again, you have no help coming from any safety or corner, so it doesn't matter what the hell he does right here. He could go inside and tell him a bedtime story. If he bounces it, he's still going to have a big play. But this is just counter Trey run to perfection right here against a very, to me, fragile Florida defense, honestly. To me, where they're getting their opportunities at is they're getting better offensively with Lagway at quarterback, to tell you the truth. Their offensive line production's better. Their receivers are catching the football. And when he has time to throw, he is really looking sharp. All right, Florida's going to go to an empty set here, and you're going to end up getting just a straight hitch. You're going to get seams because they're running a cover 3 look right here. So they're going to get the hitch right here. You're going to get something that's going to be more of an out cut, I would assume. And to beat a cover 3, you look a free safety off to one side and you throw to the other side and try to throw it in between him that's got it bracketed on this side and the free safety that's in the middle of the field. And Lagway does a good job of that. He has a very weird mechanical throwing motion, to tell you the truth. But I'm telling you what, man, when he releases the football, I mean, you got 5 receiver progression. Kentucky's only rushing 4. What I noticed with their offensive line is they're doing a heck of a job with their pass pro for the most part. I don't see many busts. But, I mean, he throws that ball on a dime to his receiver on the seam. I mean, I would love to see that from our offense and what we do as well. Really just impressed with just his composure in the pocket. Let me back this up a little bit. Just his composure in the pocket when he has time to throw. I mean, my God, I mean, very weird throwing mechanic, but still just a laser beam to his receiver on the seam between the free and the corner. This is probably what I'm impressed with more than anything. They're in a deuces right, yap left. Tied in with a H is what I call a yap. And they're going to run zone left right here. And Jaden Baugh, freshman, you know, he's been moving up the depth chart just by the way he's running the football, on top of the fact of injuries and things that they're dealing with right now. But they're going to run a split zone concept, run zone left with a running back. Their offensive line is pushing that Kentucky defensive line a lot better than we did in week 3. And what's unique about this is probably the reason why this kid is starting. He disappears into the hole right here. But what you're going to notice as he gets up in there, you'll see that all Florida's linemen have got Kentucky pushed over the line of scrimmage. That's something to me where you have a win with your offensive line. That's somebody that wants it. Maybe they think Kentucky's little brother, so they feel like they can pick on little brother. It may not be the same thing against our defensive line and linebacker stat. They got nothing to lose, guys. They're playing very confident football right now, and we've got to shut their mouths very quickly when it comes to this, because Jaden Baugh gets out on the other side. All of a sudden, he squirts free. By God, he wants to get in the zone right here, and he freaking scores. This is what I feel we'll get more for him from G.J. Lagway. With the motion coming across, you end up really only getting a 2 receiver progression. I think either from one of the 2 yaps right here, you end up getting an out route and you get basically a skinny post. It's a 2 receiver progression right here. He ends up becoming the safety outlet over here. This is very slow developing. It's downhill play action. He's going to open his butt to the midline and then play action off of this. And guys, he throws an absolute seed to the quick or to the skinny post right here. And again, his mechanics looks to me just weird as hell. But I tell you what, it works for him. And this is something that we've either got to get to him and not allow this throw. But I mean, when you got about, you look at everybody that's in here protecting, you got a 6, almost basically a 7-man protection, because a running back staying in 2, he's not coming out on the checkout. You got 1 receiver right here out of that tight end H set, and then the guy showed you on the skinny post, and there's your outlet coming across from the motion. All right, watch this throw. Just gorgeous. This is what I thought we could do to Kentucky, but yet never had the opportunity to throw balls like that right there. We've got to start seeing more of that kind of stuff. It's a good throw and catch by DJ Lagway. As a DC, you prepare for these kinds of things because you're going to get a zone pull off the read. And, if I'm watching tendency to film, I'm looking at how many times do we hand this off on motion. I watch us do it all the time, and we never hand the damn ball off, it seems. We run it out of different formations where our zone back is. But if the receiver coming across in the jet action is on the same side as the running back, then more than likely they're not going to hand it off to him. If they do hand it off to him, you got to respect that with either a safety coming downhill or a widened end or whatever you're going to have here in this case scenario. And this looks like they've got a nickel package in 3-4 look, but you got to have somebody to take care of that. But also, too, traditional zone obviously means you got back coming that way. All the linemen are blocking their gaps to the zone right side. And what used to be would start happening if you were the linebacker on the side of the running back is you sat and slow played the backside so that if he did pull off of this, then you could be there for that. That's the reason why you started seeing so many people coming down and running split zone and slipping the split zone, and he would actually be the extra blocker to take care of this running back. You don't see that happen as much anymore. You see more of the split zone guy actually blocking the end man on line of scrimmage, typically the guy that you're reading. But in this case, just strictly a zone play. Your end comes downhill, crashing, running to the running back. Quarterback reads it, and now he should pull off of this. It should be a pull read. Now you've got blockers. You got a slam technique going to your safety. Your safety valve should be running here to take care of the corner, and your end is screwed because he shouldn't be blocked. It should be a pull off of this. Now you're in good shape. 11, go block somebody. Barely sets up enough leverage, but Lagway sets up his block really well, and this is something we can't let happen. This receiver progression is pretty decent. I thought to begin with this was boot rollout action, but it ends up being straight drop back. You're going to end up getting a drag, and you're going to get an intermediate under Sam over Mike over the top of this. He's probably running something to influence to pull the corner away from where he's going to throw to. He's going to end up completing this pass. I think you get a check down by your running back, and this guy's going to kind of run a safety valve over to this side. He's basically a useless route, honestly. But to tell you the truth, what happens out of this that I like seeing from DJ Lagway's standpoint is he doesn't panic in the pocket. He stands tall in the pocket. Right here, you're going to get, I think, a 4-man pressure from Kentucky. He wants to bail. He decides he's thinking he wants to bail, but then he confidently steps up in the pocket. And by doing that, he buys himself some good time and opens up the under Sam over Mike route right here. Another big explosive pass play and getting down the sideline. And you see the three that I've shown you are the three explosives. I know we have better players than them, but guys, they're playing very confidently right now. They're running split zone, so you're just getting all the steps to the left. You're going to see everything climb and work to post. Everything's going to take care of this inside look right here. You're going to end up getting just the individual block, and you've got this freshman running back who finds the hole and runs very hard. They have found a good system offensively for themselves that makes them click, and they're feeling very confident about themselves. And we have got to really change that momentum setter that they feel like they're going to be able to do, because they run the split zone right here beautifully. I love how the wide receiver runs a slam technique to pull the corner with him, and then he ends up just blocking the safety, and he ends up blocking too by running the slam. That's what we call a slam technique, starting out wide. I used to push the corner, then go to the safety instead of just running a straight arrow to him. But you see how it pulls the corner over right to that umpire that don't want to damn move. It's just a good run right here. This kid runs hard. I hate to end on this one, but man, how many times have we seen this shit right here? You get motion across, you're going to end up getting a 3-receiver progression. This is nothing but just all seams, all goes, and just throw up a 50-50 ball. And this is just a good throw and catch. And the defensive back is in great position. How many times have you seen our defensive back in a great position? And somehow, some way, the ball gets thrown down in a breadbasket right here. But again, another explosive play that sets up another score for them, where they get their 43rd point. You got to remember, I told you, they score 4 times on explosive plays of over 40-plus yards on the completion that set them up in the red zone to take it to the house. The other scores came from Kentucky turning the ball over and giving Florida in the plus territory. You can't give them that opportunity. But I am saying this. This is something that we have got to make sure that we lock down. We either are getting to him so that he doesn't have all this time to throw, because you see Kentucky's bringing 6-man pressure right here. All right. And that's what Lagway knows. So he knows he's got one-on-one on the outside, and he throws a beautiful ball here to his receiver on the outside.